really?
Yeah.
She's got a very individual look about her, isn't she?
Yes.
That makes you sound like I'm being an asshole.
As I do tonight in my
Yeah.
red wedding dress.
Yes. As our first guest exclaimed, she's probably a little bit underdressed, but then I'm wearing a fleece. So
you're wearing a fleece. I'm wearing like a red wedding dress, and our lovely guest here is looking rather buff.
Hello, Simon. Thanks so much for coming in.
Simon Newton.
You have one of the most impressive CVs of any guest that we've had in for a while, I think.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, Michael Jackson, Kendall Jenner. Oh, too many Rita. Or you look after them all.
Not now.
Well, you did.
At some
But you
stage
have
I have done. Yeah. At some stage I have done. Over the last probably nearly 10 years now, I've been on and off with different people like that. There's all sorts of different people out there I've looked after, but obviously the celebrity ones are always the ones of interest to me.
Yeah,
you
of
look
course.
too young to have looked after Michael Jackson because you
I
look
was
young.
26 when I did that job.
Wowza! What did you have to do? Can I ask you for Michael? Were you
Make sure he didn't get kidnapped.
yeah, it didn't really work out if you're looking after him. No, I'm joking. What?
I mean, there's more than one of us. It's a big job. That's probably one of the biggest jobs you're ever gonna do with someone like that. There's never probably been someone like him since, and there's every chance that there won't be anyone like him again.
Yeah.
So it is a big, in terms of security, it's a big job. But yeah, it was a very hectic.
Was this when he was in
time.
London?
Yeah.
Was it when he lifted the child at the?
No, that was Germany.
Oh, was that Germany?
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
yeah.
So he came over for the World Music Awards. So it was 2006, November 2006.
Oh yeah.
So we are going back a little bit now.
Yes.
How did you get
Wowza.
involved in that kind of thing, though? Because I imagine it's quite a
To
difficult thing to
look after mega stars. You know, how do you get in the first place? Because they've got to trust you. You've got to have that trust, haven't you?
Yeah, it's so there's no sort of company out there or a website. I mean, it's the same website. I don't think even had internet, but anyway. But there's nothing out there where you can apply to these things. So mainly, it's more about who you know, who knows you, if you've worked with people before, what company's got the job, or maybe something to do with Michael's manager, or it just depends how the job filters down to you, really.
Did you meet him and chat to him? Or
Yeah,
did you,
at the time,
How did you find him?
Different.
a unique character.
He can't come back at you unless it's a ghost.
Yeah. No, I mean, he was a nice guy. He was a nice guy, but he was a bit different to the normal. Yeah.
Is it strange the fact? Could you just look at his face and think that's? What have you done, or did you think he looked quite all right? What stage was that? Was it?
I mean, these days a lot of people have say a different look.
Don't look at me like that.
They all have a different look. So I mean, I think if you want to look like that, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Go with what you want to go with. It doesn't bother me.
But do you do the kind of scoping places out, or is it more personal security? Like, what's the?
Yeah, so normally you split the team up anyway. Where he's staying has a residential security, and there's 5 guys with him. I was one of them, and then if possible, depending on how many numbers you've got, you always get people who go. We call it a security advance party, so they go to the venue, look at the venue, try and sort the venue out, make it as easy as possible for you.
Must cost an insane amount of money. Like, and I remember when Caitlyn Jenner was on I'm a Celebrity, and she said that Kylie Jenner's security is her biggest cost. Like,
that's the only person I've ever worked with where I've had extra people with me. All the other people I've looked after, I've done on my own.
Really?
Yeah.
And we have a few names here. Who would you say? Rita Ora. She's a. I know Rita. She's a nice girl, isn't she? She's very straight.
Yeah, she's great, Rita. Yeah. I've done quite a few bits and pieces with her on and off. We went to Milan Fashion Week.
Nice.
We've done quite a lot in London, up and down the country, Manchester. Yeah, Rita's nice. All night, everyone I look after is nice.
Well, they're relying on you. They don't want to piss you off, do they?
I don't have to look after anyone if I don't want to. So.
Have you had any incidences where people are just going? Because I know what it's like. Because I'm good friends with Simon Coward. You may know that.
What?
But
No.
I mean, in Barbados, we did this charity event, and women are just throwing themselves, grabbing him. You know, picturing. You just think, hold on a minute, this is a person.
And he's going, Lizzie, leave me alone for a minute.
But you actually think, have a bit of respect, because it can be quite frightening.
Yeah, it can be too much. I mean, it can be difficult when you're on your own as well, as a bodyguard or close protection officer, what you want to call it, because certainly with celebrities, also you get a crowd build up quite quickly, and you do have to do things very quickly and think what you're doing all the time, because it can get very quickly out of control. And once it gets out of control, it's very difficult to get it back.
Have you ever had that with anyone particular where it's gone a bit too
I've
crazy?
had it quite a few times, yeah, where it's I can start seeing now that it's time to do something about what we're doing, and normally I'll just say to them, look, we have to go, we can't stay here any longer, because it's just not it's getting unsafe now.
That was something that Meghan Markle, I think, really struggled with, wasn't it? You saw
my old friend, my bestest friend ghosted me.
Your Bessie mate.
No, she ghosted me.
But fine. But she struggled, I think, with the security, going from being basically a TV actress to royal style security would have been quite a drastic difference.
Puts her hand out the window, there'll be a guy standing there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that must be really bizarre. Have you ever seen that, like where someone's just royals, suddenly had a real meteoric thing, and they're kind of confused by it
all of those people on that list you just mentioned there, and many others who, high net worth, maybe politicians, CEOs of big companies, whatever it might be, while we're looking after them, you're with them a lot, and you have to wake up before they wake up. You can't go to sleep until they go to sleep. So
things
a lot of people were around them more than their wives or their husbands, and they probably argue enough with their wives and their husbands. So but it can be difficult sometimes when you're with someone for a long period of time, as it can be even if you're your best friend every day, all day.
Yeah, of course.
Is there anyone famous that wouldn't do what they were told? Because I know a few that when they're security, they're like, "Oh no, don't worry about that. We're going to do this," and you think, "Oops."
Yeah, well, I mean, look, everyone has their own ideas to a certain extent, and to be honest with you, I kind of let it run pretty freely. I don't get too upset about things like that. When you first start doing the job many years ago, you kind of like, "Oh no, I want it to be
really nervous."
Yeah, because you're worried about what's going to happen, but as time goes on, not really. And I can promise you anyway, if we are going, we're going.
Yes, but you've had to deal with royals though, haven't you? You've had to deal with royal family.
Dubai royal family for the first 2 years. So long before that, I worked in the Middle East as a bodyguard for Foreign Commonwealth Office, the British government in Afghanistan. And before that, I was in Iraq for a number of years as well for the US oil company as a private security contractor. Yeah. So it's after that I moved back to London and we started with the Dubai royal family.
Blimey, so that is quite, like we say, an impressive CV, but I mean, you must have seen some things in those places.
Yeah, I mean, that was a real...
You've got to be careful in Dubai, haven't you? You can't.
Well, not.
I mean,
more Afghanistan.
Yeah, Dubai was such a bad
It's like a big shopping mall, isn't it? Dubai?
No, but if I got in trouble on the beach, you should be doing something.
There is that, yeah. Don't get in trouble with your top
sorry.
off. Yeah,
but more Afghanistan places like that.
Yeah, it is. Some days, fine. Other days, it could be a bit hectic. It just depends.
It's not a busy day on the tube, though, is it?
I started that work. No, it's not. I started that, I think, between Iraq and Afghanistan. I started out there when I was nearly just turned 24 years old, so I was quite young. I was quite lucky to get a job at that age. And then I finished up there when I was nearly 29, 30. So that was a real good time in my life. I lost quite a lot of part of my early adult life doing normal things because I was in those countries all the time, but I wouldn't change it. It was, unfortunately, people, don't often. A lot of the guys didn't get to go home. Some did, some didn't.
Sad.
But it's everyone knows what they're signing up to.
Yeah, of course.
You're thoroughly briefed when you go for your job interviews on what to expect.
But that is obviously it requires a different part of your brain than to thinking about, say, some of the people on your list like Kendall Jenner or Bella Hadid.
It makes it easier.
Or is it?
It makes it a bit easier because what have I really got to worry about with them? As long as I plan the day properly, and I know what's going on around me all the time. If I've got a good driver and a good vehicle,
but you can't ever forecast if you've got an erratic, mad fan, which you can get. That you think that just goes that bit too far or has something.
You always get that one.
Yeah.
But equally, you can't plan for everything.
No, of course. In any aspect.
We try and eliminate.
Listen,
as much
I was
as
on
possible.
an OK shoot. I got someone storming in.
You did. Yeah.
It's always when you least expect it as well.
I didn't expect it. I needed you. Where were you?
Yeah.
You should be with me. So you've got an acting career going on.
I've been doing film work for on and off since 2010. So because of my business, obviously, I spend a lot of time with that, so I don't have that much time to do the acting thing. But lately, I've kind of I don't really look after anyone anymore now, so it's given me more time to do other stuff. I've moved away from it. I think nearly 17 years altogether I've done all that stuff.
Wow!
So you enjoy the acting world?
Yeah, it's great. So I've a couple of feature films. First one I got involved with was the Green Zone, Matt Damon and Paul Greengrass, and we went out to Morocco to film that for quite a number of weeks. That was a good one. Sherlock Holmes 2, Dark Shadow, I believe it's called. Robert Downey Jr., Jude Law.
How was he?
I went to the
Robert?
premiere of that.
Yeah, I had to do the interviews for that. Robert doesn't leave his wife's side, does he?
He's a bit of a crazy one, yeah.
It was.
How did you find Robert?
That was.
He told me, we had this interview and he had to make sure the thermostat was at 27.
That's quite hot.
Yeah, and I was like, and he said, I don't believe you take a photo. And I was like, are you for real? Have I got to take a picture of the
I'm here to do an interview,
I was
mate.
like, oh, okay, all right, Robert, whatever floats your boat. But anyway, sorry.
That's right.
But yeah, do you find him quite fun?
Yeah, it's good. That's good. So after those two films, I decided I probably wanted to pursue it a lot more and carry on doing it more and more. I've done a few short films, a few bits and pieces. I've just been penciled in for a film which we start shooting this year to play a Special Forces team leader in a film called Brutus, which is with a
Brutus.
Yeah, it sounds good, right? It's with an amazing director, DC Alden. His name is. He's done quite a lot of different stuff. He's been up for a number of awards.
So have you got an agent? How do you get TV film work?
He's interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do kind of. Yeah, I also have PR as well. So between the two, stuff comes through. Also, Instagram's a good source these days. Is for people. Certainly in the States that I speak to, and just I've been around a lot of this sort of thing for a long time now. So if you do good and do as you're told, I find you get on. Certainly in the acting.
Exactly, that's what I say.
Yeah, well, yeah. Be good and people will employ
good,
you.
Yeah. I'm like a virus. I never go away.
Now I don't know if you saw there was a bit of a fight last night. No, not last night. When was it? 2 nights ago.
No, it was at the NTAs.
NTAs. Yeah, there was a big fight between a reality star and paparazzi.
Yeah, kind of sort of on the
so how do you feel? What do you think of that?
Yeah, what do you think of what? So basically, the paparazzi shouted something at him, and then he basically swung it for him. This reality star.
Certain nasty word.
So you got a whole mixture of paps. I'm sure you probably.
I don't know any paps. I don't know what they are.
Au fait to but some are great. Some are not so great. Some they've got a job to do, and that's all they worry about. Some they've got a job to do, but they're still pretty respectful. Some are just outrageously.
What would you say of the one last that created? Well, I think.
Do you think someone like Chris would need security in that environment now, or do you think it's more like him being hot-headed?
I get why he reacted. Is a number of times, to be honest with you, but I've wanted to react, and obviously I haven't because I'm working. But
you have to look too good on you.
Well, exactly, and you can't get away with it with another 40 paps standing there. But no, it's difficult. They aren't that nice, some of them. I'm not saying all of them.
But to say that word at someone, are you surprised? Should he have held back? No, well,
he said the C word.
Oh.
At Chris, and he
called him
for
Chris.
no reason. For no reason.
Yeah, it's not great, is it? I mean, personally for me, because I just say everyone's got their own opinion. If that's what you think, then. Good for you, mate.
Well, yeah, because in a way, I think Chris should have just got in the car and ignored him.
I'm not bothered what a Pat thinks. It's just a Pat.
See, my way of dealing with it is blow them a kiss, because you know what, that is.
That would have been good if he would have done that.
It actually makes them wild because they want a reaction. I go.
Effect, that's right. Yeah.
There's also been a bit of backlash at the minute with Harry and Meghan moving to Canada, and there's been lots of discussions about the security costs of that.
Yeah.
What do you make of it? Do you think it's important that they have government-funded security, or do you think they should be paying for it themselves? What do you make of it?
Obviously, I need security. And to be honest with you, I'll be perfectly honest, I don't know the ins and outs of what has totally gone on there. Obviously, we know the fact of the matter, they moved away from the royal family, fine, but when
it's taxpayers' money paying for the security.
When it comes to how else they're meant to be living, if they're meant to be making their own way in life, which they say they're doing, and making their own money, why are we still chipping in for only bits that you fancy using us for? If we're paying for everything, then we're paying for everything. But if we're not, why are we only paying for some bits? We're either paying for it or we're not paying for it.
Well, if you're not doing the royal duties, you're not getting the taxpayers' money for security. You've got to do it yourself. I'm sorry.
Well, and now they're talking about the Canadian government spending out for it.
I don't
think Canadians are going to want to spend money.
I'll tell you now, they don't want to do it.
It'll be a big bill. It will be a big bill.
Yeah, exactly. Because they'll need more than one person.
Yeah.
But she's going to do massively on brands. They're going to be on tubs of margarine, teeth whitening adverts.
Milk in Japan and China.
Exactly. They'll be doing all of that. They might need you. They might call on you.
I don't know if
they've seen you here. But Simon, that's fantastic. Well, if I need security, will you come and help me?
Of course I can.
If you get your checkbook out.
Yeah. Just call the office and we'll send someone straight away. No problem.
Bless you. Thank you. I might need you very soon.
Where can we find you on social media?
Instagram's probably the best place, and also if you want to follow me on the film that we're going to shoot this year, that's bits and pieces that come up on Instagram. So it's at Simon.Newton.
At Simon.Newton.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
Keep it easy, yeah.
Okay, I'll follow you now. You've got to follow me back now, that's the deal.
All right, we'll do it.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, Simon.
Thank you so much, Simon. Thanks for coming in.
Take it easy.
Interesting.
Yeah, you're very fit as well. Look at that. It's like I'll break my hand on your bicep.
Slight change now. Should we play a bit of Madonna?
Yeah, my fave. She's a